Hello everyone, I'm Rupali Meshram. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for my latest updates. Good morning students. Today we are going to see 7th Geography, Chapter 5, Winds. Can you tell? See outside the window of your classroom. As you are at your home, you have to observe to your home's window. Which objects are moving? Which are still? Your answer will be humans, vehicles, birds, animals and insects, leaves of trees, dust particles, clouds, an aeroplane, the flag fluttering on the flag post, etc. Listed below are the objects that are still. Plants and trees, they are not moving, they are at one place. Buildings, the roads, benches in the park, rocks and stones, and the flag post in the ground. Second question, which objects are moving on their own? Why? Leaves of trees, dust particles, clouds, a paper plane, a kite, a hot air balloon, and the flag fluttering on the flag post are moving on their own. The mentioned objects move due to the force of winds. As most of these objects are comparatively lighter in weight, they are easily lifted up by the force of the wind. They move in the same direction as that of the wind. Also, they cannot apply any force of their own. Third question. Which objects are not moving on their own? Why? Humans, vehicles, birds, animals and insects, and the aeroplane do not move on their own. Most of these objects are either heavier in weight or they can apply their own energy and their internal force. Thus, they can counter the force of the wind. Whenever they want to move, they again apply their own energy and their internal force. This helps them to move. You know, students, when we feel the wind, but we cannot see it. When certain objects in our surrounding move, we experience wind. The movement of air is called wind. Why does air move? Are you having answer of it? Yes, the air moves because of the difference in the air pressure at different places. The air flows from the places of the high pressure to the places of low pressure. This movement of air is called as wind. Try this. Fold a paper into two small size rolls. Keep both the paper rolls on one side of a table. You and your friend should select one roll each. Without touching the roll of the paper or the table, what can be done to move the paper rolls to the other end of the table? Answer for this question can be, to move the paper rolls to the other end of the table without touching them, one can do the following activities. First one can blow the air with one's mouth. Tilt the table in one direction. Use a newspaper to blow the air on the paper rolls. One can blow the air on them using a table fan. See who moves the paper roll first to the other end of the table. What could be the reason of the delay in making the rolls reach to the other end of the table? Can you give answer of this question? Yes, the one who blows the air with most force moves the paper roll fast to the other end of the table. The reason of the delay in making the rolls reach to the other end of the table is the force of the wind, which are blown in the direction of the other end of the table. The lesser the force of the winds, the more it takes in making the rolls reach to the end of the table. What can we do to move the rolls to the other end of the table with a greater speed? To move the rolls to the other end of the table with greater speed, we must increase the force of the winds blown in the direction of the other end of the table. Can a bottle filled with water be moved to the other end of the table in this manner? Can we use the same method that you tried for moving the paper balls? What can be the answer? Think about it. Yes, a bottle filled with water cannot be moved to the other end of the table in this manner. This is because the weight of the bottle filled with water will be too heavy for this method to work. However, we can use the same method for moving the paper balls as their weight is comparable to that of the paper rolls. Geographical explanation. We have learned that the air pressure is not uniform across the Earth's surface. If you'll observe, the air pressure is uneven on Earth's surface. Air moves from high pressure areas towards the low pressure areas in a horizontal manner. Winds are generated due to this movement. The extent of the difference in the air pressure affects the velocity of the wind. If there is less difference in the pressure, winds blow with less velocity. Winds blow with greater velocities if the pressure difference is greater. Wind speed also varies. Wind velocity is measured in the units of knots or kilometers per hour. When we consider the Earth as a whole, we find the direction of the wind is influenced by the rotation of the Earth. In the northern hemisphere, winds get deflected towards the right of their original direction, whereas in the southern hemisphere, they deflect toward the left of their original direction. See figure 5.2. This direction has been shown by curved arrows in the figure. The rotation from west to east causes this change in the original direction of the winds. Can you tell? Observe figure 5.3 from your textbook and answer the following questions. First question. Which are the winds in the northern hemisphere that blow from the mid-latitudinal high pressure belt to the equatorial low pressure belt? In the northern hemisphere, easterlies blow from the mid-latitudinal high pressure belt to the equatorial low pressure belt. You can observe it in given diagram. Second question. What is the direction of the westerlies in the southern hemisphere? In the southern hemisphere, the westerlies blow from the northwest direction to the southeast direction. Third question. Which planetary winds blow from the mid-latitudinal high pressure belt to the subpolar low pressure belt in the northern hemisphere? If you will see, northern hemisphere, the westerlies blow from the mid-latitudinal high pressure belt to the subpolar low pressure belt. Why is the direction of polar winds not the same in both the hemispheres? Here, the direction of the polar winds is not the same in both the hemisphere because of the Earth's rotation from the west to the east, which causes the change in the direction of winds in both the hemisphere. Name the winds that blow in the southern hemisphere. Here, answer is polar winds. Westerlies and easterlies are the winds that blow in the southern hemisphere. In which direction do the easterlies blow in the northern and southern hemisphere? In the northern hemisphere, the easterlies blow from northeast direction to the southeast direction. In the southern hemisphere, the easterlies blow from southeast direction to the northwest direction. Winds are known by the direction from which they blow. For example, westerlies are winds that blow from the west. The direction of blowing, the duration, the region covered, and the condition of the air determine the following wind types. There are two types of winds: planetary winds and local winds. Here, first, planetary wind. Planetary winds. Some winds blow regularly on the earth from high to low pressure belts throughout the year. These winds cover a large portion of the earth. Hence, these are called planetary winds. For example, the easterlies, the westerlies, and the polar winds. In both the hemisphere, the winds blow from the high pressure area between 25 degree and 35 degree parallels to the equatorial low pressure belt. See figure 5.3. Due to the rotation of the earth, their original direction changes in the northern hemisphere. They blow from the northeast to the southwest, whereas in the southern hemisphere, they blow from the southeast to the northwest. These winds, coming from both the sides, converge near the equatorial calm belt. These winds are known as the easterlies. In both the hemisphere, winds blow from the mid-latitudinal high pressure belt to the subpolar low pressure belt, situated near 60 degree parallel. Their original direction changes due to rotation of the earth in the southern hemisphere. These winds blow from the northwest to the southeast, and in northern hemisphere they blow from the southwest to the northeast. These winds are called westerlies. In both the hemispheres, winds blowing from the polar high pressure belt to the subpolar low pressure belt, that is 55 degree to 65 degree, are called polar winds. Generally, they blow from east to west. Do you know? Winds in the southern hemisphere blow with great velocities. The southern hemisphere is mostly occupied by oceans. In this hemisphere, the obstacle caused by the relief of the land surface is almost absent. As there is no obstacle, winds blow with greater velocities in the southern hemisphere as compared to the northern hemisphere. Their characteristics are as follows. Beyond 40 degrees south, winds blow with tremendous velocities. These winds are called roaring 40s. Around 50 degrees south, winds are stormy. Hence, they are called furious 50s. The stormy winds around 60 degrees south make tremendous noise and hence they are called screeching 60s. Why are such winds not found in the northern hemisphere at 40 degree, 50 degree and 60 degree parallels? Can you think and can you tell the answer of this question? You will get answer for this question, that is, the northern hemisphere is mostly occupied by the continents, that is land mass. Due to this, it has obstacles caused by the relief of the land surface. As a result, the velocity of the winds in the northern hemisphere is lesser as compared to the southern hemisphere. Hence, winds such as roaring 40s, furious 50s, screeching 60s are not found in the northern hemisphere, that is 40 degree, 50 degree and 60 degree parallels. Local winds. The winds that blow for a short duration of time originate in specific region and blow over a limited area are called local winds. Local winds affect the climate of the region where they blow. These winds are known by different local names in the different regions where they blow. Try this. In the activity given in your textbook, consider the elevation of land, the heating and cooling properties of the land and water, the air pressure, etc. Observe the picture figure 5.4a given in your textbook and also in the screen. Describe the valley breeze with the help of the picture. Characteristics of valley breeze. First one, the land on the mountain heats up quickly during the day. The valley zone is comparatively cooler due to more number of trees. Air pressure is lower on the mountains due to its comparatively high temperature, whereas in the valleys, the air pressure is comparatively higher. As the wind blows from the high pressure areas to the low pressure areas, it blows from the valley areas to the mountain top. The cooler and heavier air from the high pressure valley area starts flowing towards the low pressure mountain areas. Valley breeze blows during the daytime. These above all are the characteristics of valley breeze. Read the following information carefully and draw a diagram for the mountain breeze accordingly. Characteristics of mountain breeze. Mountains cool down quickly at night. The valley zone is comparatively warmer. Air pressure is greater on the mountains. Winds blow from the mountain towards the valley. The hot and light air from the valley is pushed upwards and the cool air rushes down into the valley. Mountain winds set in after sunset. These above all are the characteristics of mountain breeze. Now, you have to draw the diagram of mountain breeze, which is given on the screen in your textbook. Do you know, the region up to 5 degrees north and 5 degrees south of the equator remains calm for most of the year and winds do not blow in this region. It is called the equatorial calm zone or doldrums. In the area near the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, that is between 25 degree and 35 degree north and south, there exists a high pressure belt. This is also a calm belt. This belt is known as horse latitudes. Can you tell? Observe the diagrams figure 5.5a and 5.5b given in your textbook and also on the screen. Answer the questions related to the sea and land breezes. First question. Why do the breezes blow from the sea to the land during the day? Answer. During the day, the land gets heated up faster and the hot air on land goes up, which creates a low pressure area on the land. At the same time, the water remains comparatively cooler during the day. Hence, the air cools down and the pressure here is comparatively high. As a result, the cooler sea breeze blows from the sea towards the land during the day. Second question. When do the winds blow from the land to the sea? By observing the picture, you will get the answer that winds blow from the land to the sea during the night. Water cools down slowly as compared to land. Hence, during the night, the temperature of the sea is higher than that of the land. Therefore, the air here is warmer. This warm and lighter air on the earth, water goes up, creating a low pressure area. This air then flows towards the land, cools and comes down, creating a high pressure area on the land. As a result, the cooler land breeze blows towards the sea during the night. Third question. Describe the winds shown in figure 5.5a of your textbook. If you'll observe, the figure 5.5a shows the sea breeze. It blows during the day. It blows from the cooler sea towards the warmer land. It develops due to the difference in the time taken by land and water to heat up. Fourth question. Compare figure 5.5a and 5.5b with reference to temperature, conditions, air pressure and winds. First point, temperature conditions. In figure 5.5a, sea is low and land is high. In 5.5b, the temperature condition is sea is high and land is low. Air pressure in figure 5.5a is sea air pressure is high and land air pressure is low. In figure 5.5b, sea air pressure is low and land air pressure is high. In winds, in figure 5.5a, see the warm and lighter air from the land comes to sea, cools and comes down. Land, cooler sea breeze blows towards the land. In figure 5.5b, sea, cooler land breeze blows towards the sea. Land, the warm and lighter air from the sea comes to the land, cools and comes down. Which winds are called sea breezes and which are called as land breezes? Why? Sea breezes. We will start with first sea breezes. The cooler breezes which blow from the sea towards the land during the day are called as sea breezes. During the daytime, the land temperature is high as compared to the sea, due to which the air on the land gets heated and goes up, creating a low pressure area on the land. This lighter air goes towards the cooler sea areas. It cools and comes down, creating a high pressure area on the sea. As we know that air moves from high pressure area to the low pressure area. The cooler sea breeze blows from the sea towards the land. Land breezes is the next topic. The cooler breezes which blow from the land towards the sea during the night time are called as land breezes. During the night time, the temperature on the sea is high as compared to that on the land. Due to this, the air on the sea is warmer and it goes up, creating a low pressure area on the sea. This lighter air goes towards the cooler land area. It cools and comes down, creating a high pressure area on the land. As we know that air moves from high pressure area to the low pressure area. The cooler land breeze blows from the land towards the sea. Sixth question. In which part of India are the land and sea breezes experienced? The land and sea breezes are experienced in the coastal areas of India. Example, the Bay of Bengal, the western coastline of India and the eastern coastline of India. Seventh question. Do you experience sea and land breezes in your area? As we are in Solapur, but in Mumbai, we do experience sea and land breezes as Mumbai is located on the western coastline of India. Geographical explanation. The land is made up of dense matter. Land is stable and opaque. As a result, heat is transferred at a greater speed and in a higher proportion. Hence, land gets heated quickly. The density of water is comparatively less. Water is transparent and unstable. Hence, water does not get heated quickly. As a result, the air pressure in land and water areas is different. In the coastal areas, land gets heated during daytime. Hence, the air on the land also gets heated and the air pressure on land decreases. The sea water gets heated slowly, hence the air is less heated and the air pressure remains high. Winds blowing from the sea towards the land are called sea breezes. At night, land cools down faster as compared to the sea and therefore has higher air pressure. Hence, the land breeze blows from land towards the sea. Besides, these winds blow under particular condition in different areas. These are also called local winds. For example, Fan, Chinook, Bora, Lu, etc. See the table on the next page, which is given on page number 26. Read the given table and try to understand it. Seasonal winds. Monsoon winds are generated due to the uneven heating of land and water in the different seasons. During summers, monsoon blow from the sea to the land, and in winter they blow from the land to the sea. Southeast Asia, East Africa, North Australia are the regions where the pronounced effects of these winds are felt. See figure 5.6. The influence of monsoon winds is seen in the summer and winter season in the Indian subcontinent. Due to these winds, the Indian subcontinent experiences monsoon, that is raining, and retreating monsoon season apart from summer and winter. Monsoon winds are in fact sea and land breezes blowing on large scale. Most of the precipitation in the Indian subcontinent is the effect of monsoon winds. After crossing the equator, they blow from the southwest towards the Indian subcontinent. During the period from June to September, they are called the southwest monsoons. They are full of moisture. From September to December, because of the low pressure area developing near the equator, winds blow from the Indian subcontinent towards the equator. These are called the northeast monsoon winds. They are dry winds. Cyclones. Cyclonic conditions are created when a low pressure area is surrounded by high pressure areas. In these conditions, winds start blowing towards the low pressure area from the surrounding high pressure areas. See figure 5.7. Due to the rotation of the earth, the cyclonic winds in the northern hemisphere move in an anti-clockwise direction, whereas they move in a clockwise direction in the southern hemisphere. During a cyclone, the sky is cloudy, winds blow with a very high velocity, and it rains heavily. The area affected by cyclones is limited. The duration, velocities, direction, and place of origin of these winds is unpredictable. See the image of a cyclone obtained by a satellite in figure 5.8. On weather maps, the center of cyclone is represented by the letter L. A cyclone system moves from one place to another. Cyclonic storms. Cyclonic occurring in the western part of the Pacific Ocean along the coast of Japan, China, Philippines, etc. are known as typhoons. These storms arise in the months between June and October. Due to high velocity winds and heavy rains, these prove to be destructive. The cyclones in the Caribbean Sea are known as hurricanes. These are also destructive in nature. During these storms, the minimum velocity of the wind is 60 km per hour. Cyclones also originate in the temperate zone, but they are not so powerful and hence are not destructive. Anticyclones. Under specific atmospheric conditions, the air pressure in a particular region increases and the pressure in the surrounding areas remain low. In this situation, winds blow from the center towards the surrounding areas in a circular manner. In the northern hemisphere, these winds blow in a clockwise direction, whereas in the southern hemisphere, they blow in an anti-clockwise direction. During anticyclones, the skies are clear, winds blow with lesser velocities, and the weather is pleasant. Anticyclones generally last for a few days or a week. Such anticyclones originate in temperature zone. On weather maps, the center of an anticyclone is represented by the letter H. Anticyclones are vividly experienced in high pressure belts. Winds in these regions are always moving out and hence the rainfall in such areas is quite low. Do you know? Naming the cyclones. Cyclones occurring in different parts of the world are assigned different names. A list of names is prepared for each of the oceans or its part. Names in the list are suggested by the countries in the region of that ocean. If the wind speed in the storm exceeds 33 knots, that is 60 km per hour, The cyclone is assigned a name. Names make it easier for us to remember a particular storm.